All right, welcome back. The Olympics are underway over in Italy right here. We have Maria Martin joining us.
Hi.
Hey, it is winter sports time.
Yeah.
We're talking a little hockey today.
I wish I could talk about hockey all the time. So
But
I'm
we have a
very
lot
happy
of
to be
time
doing
here,
that.
so the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to know? Ask me a question, anything.
Yeah, that was a soft tee up for you there. But in all seriousness, there is a kind of a milestone
Yeah.
right now for many years, I think a dozen years, players in the NHL,
Yeah.
they could not compete in the Olympics. I have a lot of memories, when I was in high school
course.
and younger, seeing them, some great, U.S.-Canada games. That stopped. Now they're back.
Yeah, it's really nice to have the NHL players back. And when you talk to anybody that plays hockey, this is the moment that they waited for since Sochi in 2014. It was the last time that the NHL players played in the Winter Olympics. And USA Canada is always a great rivalry, obviously. They're not going to be playing first, okay? Hopefully they meet up at some point. But it is something that's so fun to watch. And you remember just a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a month ago or so, when you saw that big match between USA and Canada, the world went crazy. And so it just amplified the excitement around NHL players being back in the Olympics. Look, you want to see the best players in the world play each other. And to me, that's the National Hockey League, and to everybody else that is as well. So it's truly not best on best unless those guys are out there. So this was a big thing, and these guys really love playing for their countries. I mean, everybody comes together for the NHL. A lot of the teams are based here in America, of course, some of them in Canada as well, but you've got Finland, Sweden, Russia, Americans, all of them are fantastic at hockey, and they really take the pride of their country on the ice for sure.
And I don't want to call it banned, but I guess it was.
Yeah.
It was instituted on the NHL side. It wasn't on the national team side, right? So all of those countries, because the NHL is such an international domestic league, all of those countries weren't able to tap the athletes who are their best hockey players.
I know, and it was probably so frustrating for them as well, right? Because even though it's a great opportunity for these amateur hockey players, if you want to call them that, or semi-professional hockey players that are playing in the Winter Olympics, I think it's a great opportunity for them, but they still want to be in the mix with NHL players because, remember, these rosters aren't entirely made up of NHL guys. They are sprinkled in throughout the rosters, and so I think it's really, really cool. America's got a very strong team. Canada always has a strong team. Sweden, Finland, all of the list goes on of the guys that I mentioned earlier. So I think that it's going to be so much fun to watch what happens when America takes the ice tomorrow. Now, I think what's very important for everyone to remember, miracle is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of American hockey for sure. And that was the last time that the Americans won a gold medal.
And they did it here on home soil, too, in
Lake Placid. Exactly. And it's still one of my favorite sports moments of all time. 1980, I was not alive yet, but I can appreciate how incredible that moment was and just how big of a feat it was. We don't have to worry about that being a feat this time because there are NHL guys that are going to be on the ice. But, man, it is a lot of fun. I'm so excited to watch those guys go.
And you are, I don't think I'm outing you here and saying you are a great sports fan. You cover everything, nonpartisanly, of course.
Yeah.
But you're a great sports fan. You're a great hockey fan.
I'm a huge hockey fan.
And, you wear that fandom in a part of the country that, is not, for better or for worse, super known as a hockey hotbed here in Atlanta. But there is a growing, percolating hockey current that you're really tapped into.
Yeah, and I think what's scaring me a little bit about that is that it has been very quiet for a little while. That might be good news. It means that the NHL is possibly going to have those conversations. I know they are having those conversations, but look, I hope that we're getting closer when it comes to bringing an NHL team back here to Atlanta. And a lot of people think, why the heck would you give Atlanta an NHL team for a third time? Because it's failed twice here. But the landscape has totally changed, as you kind of mentioned, Zach. It is a totally different atmosphere here. I think the city has, quadrupled in size. That's not a real metric in how the city has grown, but seriously, it's exploded. And I think that that's a really good thing. You have people from all over the world, all over the country that live here in Atlanta that want hockey. It is such a fun sport, and I've always said something that a lot of hockey players say. It's, if you don't like hockey, you've just simply never been around the sport. And it's true. And especially in this part of the country, it's growing so rapidly around the South. You've got Florida, you've got the Carolinas, you've got Tennessee, all that are hotbeds for hockey now.
Good teams, too, on the ice.
Very good teams.
They're winning games.
Shout out to Gabby, the Florida Panthers. Let's go. Vamos Gatos. That's Gabby and I's team. And we get to wear that fandom because I don't have an NHL team. But if the NHL comes back to Atlanta, I'll kill the fandom just a little bit because That's how I cover sports. But what I will say, yeah.
We're all pros here. We know.
Yeah. But for now, I get to be a Florida Panthers fan. But what's really cool about it is you think about these southern states. I mean, look at the women's side that are competing right now in Milan. There is a young lady from Texas sniping on everybody, and she's doing such a good job. So, I think Southern hockey has had its moment, but it's only going to continue to get better. I would love to see this city get a hockey team again, not just because I'm a fan, but I think we deserve it. And it's the one missing piece to the puzzle of all the major professional sports. I really want it back here.
I think a lot of people want it back, and I would love to get to see you and Gabby cover it and be fans and bring us. It would be really cool. And we talk about this groundswell of support. Maria, I know that you went to a local rink not too long ago to talk to some of the folks who have this excitement for the game, this passion for hockey, and are really thrilled about NHL players coming back to the Olympics. If we have that queued up, do you want to listen in?
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's do it. Hockey might not be the first sport that comes to mind in the state of Georgia, but it's growing in popularity at a consistent basis.
You can tell that the game's growing, especially down in the South, and even when we go to play other teams down in our division, you can just see the support they get as well. And so I think you can really see how hockey is spreading to different parts of the country, and it's not just, a northern heavy sport.
The Atlanta Gladiators are a minor league affiliate of the NHL team, the Nashville Predators. They play in Duluth and help grow the game in our area.
Having the Gladiators in Duluth, Georgia, and obviously having the NHL teams expand, and they're looking to bring a team back to Atlanta, I think that's just incredible. It's incredible for the game of hockey, but it's also great to show a lot of people what hockey's all about. And I think there's something special about really being physically in the building and watching the game.
The city of Atlanta has had 2 NHL teams in the past, and the hope is our city is granted a third opportunity in the future. Until then, we get to enjoy NHL players back in the Olympic Games. Now you get good on good. The NHL is back for the first time in 12 years since it was played in Sochi. How exciting is it to have NHL players back on those rosters?
It's great that the NHL is letting the players back. As us kids growing up, that's you grew up idolizing, watching those guys playing on the Olympic stage, the world stage, and then obviously too, it's just only going to help the game grow globally.
And the NHL is the best league in the world, so without those players from the NHL, then it's really not best on best. The last Olympics, there was other players there, and it was great and it was fun to watch still, but this year it's going to be the best on best players, and it's going to be the most exciting hockey, I think, that's going to happen for a while.
And they'll get to watch a former teammate in Milan. Former Gladiator Louis Bondon was named to the French Olympic hockey team.
Obviously, he knew this kind of Olympic break was coming up, and we're super excited for him. I mean, I can't wait to watch him and kind of follow along with his journey and success in the Olympics.
Every day, just, put his work boots on, and was just awesome to be around. So for him to have such an amazing accolade for him, we're just so happy, and I'm excited to watch him play with some of the best players in the world.
Okay, so I didn't want to ruin that for you guys. I wanted to make sure that you knew that there was a former Gladiator that's going to be playing in the Olympics. I love that on the French team. Of course, here we're going to be pulling for the Americans, but we can pull for Louis too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a local connect, and in anything, what any genre of life, you talk about if you're trying to build something, seeing somebody who has done it.
So cool.
It opens that door so much, and I mean, those young athletes you talk to, I'm sure they look at him and say, well, shoot, the sky's the limit here.
Yeah, I know they're very excited for him. Obviously, he doesn't play for the Glads anymore. He had moved on, but since they were FaceTiming him just before we did that interview, which was really cool. And you'll also get to see me play hockey. How did that go?
I bet very well.
Okay, so what's really funny about it is those guys are great. They're big troopers. Shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. But Dylan, the second one that you saw in that interview, was talking a lot of smack to me, okay? And it was great to show him that I can actually skate, even though I'm from Florida. People like to talk some crap to me, but, I can skate. I can play. I shot some goals. Not well, but, we were out there.
And there's video evidence of this somewhere?
Yeah, it's going to be out on February 16th. We're going to air it on 11 Alive and 11 Alive Plus.
Everybody mark your calendars right now for February 16th. Maria, beginning your Olympic journey.
I didn't hit any top shelf goals, which I really wish I would have, but I couldn't really get the lift that I wanted on the puck. But I didn't fall, so that's all that matters.
We're going to call that a big win, and we are excited to see that. We're hoping for some big wins over in Italy as well, or Maria Martin. We always appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.